Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated.
Choaf sat alone in the bench in a park. My name is Choaf. He'd casually remark, waiting for the spooky Saturday with his hands in his pockets. He just kept saying life, Harry, team kills. That didn't make any sense, but I don't give a shit. He's Choaf. He's Choaf. What's in his head? He's Choaf. He's Choaf. He's Choaf. Is he inbred?
Whoa. Whoa. What was that? What was that one? That was harsh.
Yeah, well, I'm practicing doing parody songs, man. I think I can make it big. Don't you think I'm good? Yeah.
I think that's just something that we would need to leave to the experts, like Weird Al, maybe.
Oh, well, good thing our guest today knows all about him. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, conveniently we have Weird Al as our background. Just like it was planned this way.
Weird.
Almost like it was scripted.
Welcome to Every Man's Guide to Nerddom, where we are two 30 to 40-something-year-olds who talk about pretty much whatever we want. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle. And you guys can also catch us online almost every Saturday night. We're doing a little thing we call Spooky Saturday on Twitch. You can follow Chris over there, Guyver UNT01, GYVER UNT01, Guyver Unit 1. And or me, KSIG, K_SIG. It's really a lot shorter, easier. And
much like Kyle.
Yeah, it's accurate. I'm not even going to debate that one.
Ladies, you heard that. He's easy.
Shorter and easier.
Shorter and easier. So you know what? That's a guaranteed thing. Whoever can land him.
And with us tonight, whatever it is, whenever
this
you guys are listening during this session.
7 minutes past noon.
If you guys have ever watched us play any Spooky Saturday games, this is the guy that gets us killed a lot.
All the time.
You know him as Choaf. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys?
We call him Choaf, also known as Mr. Adam.
Mr. Adam.
Well, you'll hear us refer to him as that sometimes. Usually it's me going, "Oh, fuck off, Adam."
Around.
Fuck around. That's Kyle.
That's my phrase.
This is. Yeah, we also call him Mr. Adam there. So today we have a really, really fun episode for us. I've personally followed this man for years and years. And I remember buying the tapes and CDs. This man has a career that's spanned over 35 years now. This artist is Weird Al Yankovic. I know a lot about him, but Adam is what we would call, what'd you call him, Kyle?
Oh, did I say expert? Was it expert? Super fan.
Super fan. I would say definitely super fan. Or
yeah.
Kyle also said before we started recording, president of the fan club.
Is there a fan club where you're like, have you looked into that at all, Adam?
Oh, I'm 100% sure there is. I haven't, but I do like look at his website all the time, and anytime there's a tour announced, I perk up, or a new album.
Get a little excited.
So yeah.
A little wiggly down under.
Little half chub going.
Nice. I mean, yeah, nice. We'll go with it.
So Adam is actually, and Kyle will explain this here in a sec, he's actually our real life friend. We've known Adam for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We use that term lightly, though.
Yeah.
Very lightly.
The friend part, very lightly.
Where'd we meet?
Real
Kyle?
life, he actually does exist. Yeah.
He does. He's real.
I am real. I'm
He's a
touching
real
myself
boy.
right now.
But we all go way back to the college days, back in the early 2000s. Think back.
In the before time.
In the before times. Early 2000s. Late 90s for Chris.
Late
80s.
Mortimer! Mortimer!
I'm coming up on my freaking 20-year anniversary of attending my first year of college. I started in 2002.
Oh man, I passed that last year. Yeah.
I got my 20-year reunion next year. For
How many decades for you, Guyver?
Yeah, what?
He
What are you talking about?
He spent multiple decades in college.
You know what? I fucking was Van Wilder and I did not want to leave. And I am not ashamed to admit that I was on the 5-year plan. I did not want to leave.
I did
5 year.
I did 5
And
years.
this is the shit
I
we
did
put
5
up with
plus some.
Adam constantly.
Adam may have pulled 5+. Are you a
Definitely.
doctor? No, you're not.
Doctor?
I mean, I went long enough to be a doctor.
He just took college at a medium pace.
He did.
Man,
At a medium
Some hard.
pace.
I won't
Now
finish
see
more of those
Choaf
lyrics.
in the corner.
That's Choaf in the corner.
That's Choaf
Me
in
in
the
the spotlight.
spotlight. Whacking his wiener.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be the first or the last.
Yeah.
Definitely not last.
No, well, we've already gone way off of the
Yeah.
show flow, but it doesn't matter. That's why we have a flow. Adam, tell us a little bit about your background first, like who you are, what your experience was with Weird Al, like how you became a Weird Al fan. Just like who is Adam?
thought
Who
this was
are
gonna
you?
turn into like a
Who's Choaf?
Chris Hansen
Yeah, I know.
style episode. There, tell us about
All
your
right,
experience with Will.
Do I need to put the
Did
beer
you really
back?
think when you texted Kyle that he was a 16-year-old boy
Have a
who
seat.
dressed as a furry?
I mean,
Have a
I'm
seat.
just here
Please have
with
a
the
seat.
Mike's Hard Lemonades to tell him the dangers of meeting people.
This is what you don't do.
But I put
Yeah.
the Jolly Rancher in the Zima.
Oh God, we are showing our age with that.
Wow.
Mhm.
Didn't they
it was
come back?
good.
Didn't they come back? Didn't Zima come back?
Yeah,
for a
they
little bit?
did.
It did.
Yeah. So see, we're not old.
No, it's still we're still old. Like it,
No, shush.
that doesn't change the fact that we were around for Jolly Ranchers and Zima. I
Mhm.
partooken. It's like a Thanksgiving dish.
Is that like a turducken
Yeah, I had like one.
Not
I
Jolly
think,
Rancher
high
in the
school.
Zima
Uh-huh.
in the K-Sig.
in in the turkey?
Ugh.
And you kids
Oh,
with
man.
your hard seltzers and your flavored vodkas.
At Kyle's house for Thanksgiving, they don't stuff like apples in there. They just stuff apple Jolly Ranchers in.
And we put some vodka and some rum and some whiskey, and
It's so yummy.
Vodka rum.
As long as the end result is what you're going for.
Well, that's true.
when you get there,
And yeah. The beginning
So-
to all drinking sucks.
Okay,
That
so
first taste.
who is Adam? Who are you? Who the fuck are you?
I am me. Enough said.
Go by Choaf.
Go by Choaf. Well, we'll go like that kind of like what oh man, now I'm just all stumbling. Okay, my nickname, I'll say this, my handle, whatever, came as an insult from back in my day of playing Magic the Gathering as a young nerd.
Mhm.
And I got from the Goonies, I'd get called Chunk a lot. I'd get called Meatloaf, as in the singer, as in the dish, I guess. But one day at a Magic the Gathering little tournament in Tulsa, guy was calling me Chunk and Meatloaf, and then by the end of the day, it just became Choaf,
Choaf.
as in like what? And yeah, I hated it, and my friends called me it all the time for a while. But then later on, I was like, all right, yeah, this is fine. Yeah. Plus, no one can pronounce it the first time, anyways.
just going to embrace it.
Yeah, just like
Well-
like we'll find out Weird Al did too.
I'll tell you, Adam, that's super admirable. That's what the whole spirit of the show is about. It's, not judging people. And you took something that could have been debilitating, like from bullying, and embraced it and made it part of who you are. So like, I seriously applaud you for that.
Mhm.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's all of my nicknames were insults originally.
Good. Well, I think that's
So,
how most
yeah.
of them actually.
Yeah, I think
really
I think that's
kinda-
what nicknames are meant to be. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get you, and then like you just embrace it, like, well, dang, loses all power then.
Well, so
There's
for
not
those
very
of
many
you-
nicknames with terms of endearment pushing
Yeah.
behind it.
No,
They're like,
no.
yeah.
Well, like it's like My Hero Academia. That your story kind of mirrors for me the My Hero Academia story. Like Deku, his hero name is Deku, which basically means ordinary, plain, and he embraced it. And it took all the power away from the guy who was bullying him. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, not cool that you were bullied. That fucking sucks. But I mean,
thought it was cool. I imagine Adam like flipping a table at like a
poking
Hastings.
out.
Yeah, like he's at the tournament. He's like at a Hastings, or a Books a Million or something, and then just like flipping the table. I am Choaf.
I have yelled a lot
Fireball.
in those tournaments.
Lightning bolt.
Force of nature. Choaf
Yeah.
wins.
Blue deck. Like, I'm just gonna piss you off.
Be careful if your blue dick lasts more than 8 hours. See a doctor.
Probably go get that
Oh.
looked at. Honestly,
It never.
Yeah, I
it
would.
never lasts that long.
I mean, well, looked at by a professional. Don't just have somebody like, hey, you want to look at
Oh.
this? Like, yeah, find a professional to. Yeah,
I mean, if I pay them, they're professionals, right?
So,
I think by definition you're right. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
So, well, now you guys got a little background on Adam. We're all longtime friends. Adam's actually probably one of our most loyal listeners to the show. So seriously, Adam, thank you for supporting us. We really
Hey, no
appreciate
problem.
it. You're one of the people that keeps us going.
Yeah.
It's the reason we do this. So
in the back
Seriously, thank
episodes,
you.
if you hear us saying, that's for you, Choaf, or
Yeah,
that.
it's
Here
'cause
he is.
Adam.
Now he's here.
because
Okay.
he's also the one that consistently calls us out on shit. Him and B-Rob and Justin, those three consistently. Hughes has been getting mouthier lately too.
He's getting a little comfy. in
He's getting his
shoes.
licks in.
Mhm.
Actually, Props is back too, since
Yeah, I know, we
Props
got
is starting to listen
Yeah,
again.
Yeah.
So, fuck, there's a lot of you guys that call us out, but
Yeah. Anything that lets me call Guyver out, I'm in.
yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
you son of a bitch.
Some of them will bitch. So, okay. Who is
Weird
Weird
Al.
Al? Kyle? Who's Weird Al?
Oh, so Weird Al came on the scene. Did we have something on the background, or were we just going to go?
Yeah, no.
into-
It's what's his real name? Do you know what it is?
his real name. I had it down here because I knew I would forget it.
It's on the notes. I put
I
it
know.
on the
I
flow.
scrolled on accident. Okay, I was ready.
Now it
I was-
seems like we're scripted.
I was all prepared. I had
Never.
everything like out in front of me, and now I can't find where I was on what I was doing.
It's at the top,
No, it's not.
second page.
It's kind of in the
Second
middle.
page. Where are we going all over the place now? I can't find what I was looking for. Hold on. Oh, I got so off track. Oh my God. Oh, here we go. Alfred Matthew Yankovic.
There we
That's
go.
not at the
Nailed
top.
it in
That's a
one.
quarter of the way down.
Oh yeah, that is true. Oh, I skipped those parts too. I fucked it up.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
you
was
did.
where I was supposed to be.
I wasn't gonna call it out, but yeah,
I fucked it. Oh well, I'll call it out here
I
because
was gonna give you this freebie.
I had that up
Guyver.
too high. You know what? Okay, well we know his real name now, so
Yeah, I was going to ask
It's
Adam
off.
what his real name was.
Yeah.
God,
okay, I fucked it up.
That's fine.
Anyways,
That's fine. Let's talk about
His-
Weird Al.
let's talk about Weird Al. His first album was in 1985. The first album was Dare to Be Stupid. I remember that album very
That-
well. The
that's-
first
That's not
Hit-
his first album.
was it not?
No.
Webpage I got it from was wrong.
Yeah, like his first
Or
album.
is that
Like,
his first hit?
that might have been the one that had the most hits, but that's
Okay.
but like I think he had a self-named album. I want to say in like '83.
Oh, okay. What was on that? Do we know any songs from that?
I bet you another one rides the, or another one bites the, or another one rides
Another
the
one
bus.
rides
Another one
Bus.
rides the bus was
Yeah.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it on that one?
there's-
Okay, because that was the one he got famous with when he was in
Right.
high school, right? From Dr.
Well,
Demento.
It wasn't high school. He was in college,
College.
at that point. Like high school he gave, well, let's keep talking because I can go into the history of a little bit of it
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
later. Okay, right now. In high school, he listened to Dr. Demento and he gave a tape to Dr. Demento, and it had a song called Belvedere Cruising on it. And Dr. Demento played that on his show, and it's a pretty rough song. It's literally him recording it in his bedroom kind of thing. But Dr. Demento commented that it's like it wasn't the best song, but it had some real clever lyrics and everything. And that's what got him on Dr. Demento. And then later on, he did other things but
Like
his biggest thing was My Bologna.
Yeah, I say My Bologna. I
Yeah.
actually remember hearing that.
I do
Yeah,
too.
Somewhere.
that was before Another One Rides the Bus. So that got him known. And was it the Knack that sings that?
My Sharona.
My Sharona.
Yeah, My Sharona. He I guess this is later because later they came to his college and played, and he was already a DJ at that college, and he introduced himself to lead singer the Knack, as in, I'm the guy that wrote My Bologna. And I guess he'd already heard that. He'd already either heard it or Weird Al played it for him. And he commented to the record executive of Capitol Record, one of the record companies, to give him a single. And he did get to make a single off of My Sharona, but it never really hit big. And then later, he did a live show with Dr. Demento on the radio station, and he did Another One Rides the Bus, and that's what kind of propelled him to fame. It actually got him a recording, a small recording contract from back then.
Yeah.
And he released it, and the record label went bankrupt 2 weeks later, so he never got paid a dime for that song.
Oh,
Really?
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean now probably, but back then, yeah, he didn't get paid anything for it. So
you've listened to some of the early stuff, and
yeah,
was that, I know one of his big things is there's a polka influence in a lot of stuff.
mm-hmm.
Was it present then?
Oh, I'd probably say for sure, just
Okay.
because all the
The accordion and
yeah, I want to say, I think the first album, that the self-titled album, I think they say every song on that album has the accordion in it, period. And then as it went on, and now especially they've kind of dropped, he doesn't play the accordion except for on the polkas for sure. And if the song, it can be comedic effect, kind of, 'cause it's well, the accordion doesn't really fit, half these songs.
Right.
So,
right.
but that first album was every track had the accordion. So I would say the polkas and just that style influenced every bit of it, especially the cadence and the rhythm of a lot of the parodies.
Well, kind of looking at some of his early life stuff and kind of going back a little bit further, I think what helped him be successful and he's funny for one.
Yeah.
He's smart.
He's
Mhm.
extremely smart.
He was, we have high school.
I was do you see
valedictorian.
how old he was when he graduated high school?
No.
You want to take a guess at how old he was when he
I'm gonna say
graduated high school?
16.
Yep.
15. Are we
He
16?
was 16.
I guessed it right.
He started early in kindergarten, and then he skipped a grade later. So he was barely 16 when he graduated. It means he was 16 going off to college.
See, and that's the thing. To do what he does constantly, you have to have a really high degree of intelligence.
Mhm.
People think that this is just, oh, look, I can do that. I can make up songs and, I can become famous too. But no, you can't. Some
he's
people
not
that
just
do this.
riffing
Yeah.
lyrics. He's rewriting an entire song and making it work.
Well, and he's getting
and he
permission
goes-
too.
Yeah,
the thing.
that was the thing. Talk about later. But just the fact that if you go back, even the early parodies, there wasn't the internet where you can just download the music, the sheet music.
Mhm.
Him and his band literally note for note rewrote the song, to be able to because they sound almost identical, a lot of the songs, except for I said, the accordion is in there, some funny slide whistles or whatever.
Right.
But and the same thing can be said with his music videos, when he did those, especially the early ones with the Michael Jackson ones, they're shot for shot the exact same music video. You have to be meticulous, you have to pay attention to detail, everything, to be able to do stuff like that.
And again, the guy is just smart.
Mhm.
Again, you can't just say, I could do this. Great. You can do this. You can be famous on TikTok for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Weird Al has done this for decades.
Decades.
Well, yeah, like you said, like for every Weird Al, there's 500 Cletus T. Judds, or something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, like they had a breakout song, and they are just literally joking. But I mean, I know Cletus T. Judds, I think, still releases music, but
He fell off.
never.
Like
He's not getting
ago.
a number one. He's not getting a number one record in 2014 or whatever it was. Yeah, his 14th album, Weird Al's, is finally a number one released album.
Yeah.
So
Well, you wouldn't. I don't think without Weird Al, I don't think you'd have the parody guys like we've seen over the last 40 years or 30 years.
I don't think they would have been nearly as popular, but I'll go
No.
because I was gonna later on in some of this, I was gonna mention Ray Stevens. Ray Stevens has been doing it even longer. But I would say the problem with Ray Stevens was he's more pure country, so like he's stuck to a genre, and Weird Al is a changeling.
Everything's up for grabs.
Yeah.
It's not just don't look, asshole.
Yes. Boogity, boogity.
For those of you who For those of you who don't know who Ray Stevens is,
I wasn't ready.
the problem, probably the most famous song you're going to know him from is Over Christmas Time. Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
I was thinking The Streak. The Streak is the one that.
Yeah, or Mississippi Squirrel Revival.
I remember seeing that on CMT at my grandma's house. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know either of those.
What?
Wow.
You don't know the Mississippi Squirrel or The Streak?
No.
Look out, Ethel!
Yeah.
No.
She's already. I can't remember the rest of that.
Okay, I gotta go listen to those now. But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
you do.
it's like most people I know would know Grandma got run over by a reindeer because it's so commercialized now.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
That's
But-
why I'm thinking like our average person would know that one specifically.
They would know that song. Yeah, I didn't even.
They made it a
really until-
cartoon.
I didn't even realize that was all Ray Stevens. Is that a Ray Stevens original?
I
Maybe.
thought it was. I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay. Like I said,
Kyle,
I
to
was
the
a huge
Google.
Ray Stevens. Yeah, I was a huge Ray Stevens fan back in my
Mhm.
day.
To
Is
the
that-
Google.
That's what'll get like you ask for my
Guru.
influence. Like, I'll just say like I grew up in a very religious household. For the early part of my life, wasn't allowed to listen to anything that my parents didn't listen to. So I grew up on a lot of 60s, 50s, and some 70s. That's like, and Ray Stevens. I mean, Ray Stevens has a career back to the 60s. Oh, he's like,
Might be before
He's like
that. It might be in
Methuselah.
the 50s.
it might
Oh.
be, but like his early stuff were religious albums.
Yeah.
Like-
He was like
I
gospel
know
singer.
Yeah.
Really?
So yeah.
Yeah.
He actually has a really good, like Ray Stevens has a really good singing voice, and then just realized like, meh, I'm gonna make these comedy albums.
Ray Stevens
yeah,
didn't actually do that till years later. It was I'm still going. The Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer. Originally performed by husband and wife duo of Elmo Shropshire and Patsy Trigg in 1979.
See, there
Really?
we go.
Yeah,
Huh.
Real Big
I will
Fish covered
say,
it.
Real Big
Cool.
Fish did?
nice.
Wait, did they sell out when they did it?
EP,
Oh,
Happy
they sold
Scholar
out
Days.
first.
They sold out first. Yeah.
Real Big Fish did a holiday album.
I'm gonna have to listen to that now. I love Real Big Fish.
Man, ska. Oh,
Ska was fun.
Ska
it was.
music.
Ska was a
lots
great.
of horns. Just throw in
Yeah,
some
Ska
horns.
was a great little. What was that little blip in the musical world?
Ska never
Yeah.
really went away.
Yeah, because everybody
Still.
throws in a trumpet every so often. Like, oh, it's
Yeah.
ska music. It's like, no, that's Tool, man.
It's a
Yeah.
real ska revival.
I liked Ska.
Yeah, it was fun.
So Weird
So,
Al.
Weird Al.
So he was high school valedictorian. He went to college at Cal Polytech,
Mm-hmm.
and he studied architecture.
Yep.
And this is kind of rounding back to what Adam was saying earlier. That he had a radio show then,
Mhm.
and that's where he earned his nickname. Was on the radio show in
Well-
college when he was DJ. Or did he have a show, or was he just DJing? I
He
guess
was
it was-
DJing. He was DJing. I probably did have a show. College, good colleges, not ours, have a radio station. But I also know. I also was reading about that. He's mentioned that the Weird Al moniker was used in the dorms by his
Okay.
older like you were talking again, a 16-year-old with these 18-year-olds. Like, he's not gonna fit in. They called him weird. because he was already making parodies before he went to college. So an accordion player at that. So they called him Weird Al, and he hated it. But then when he followed in Dr. Demento's kind of footsteps of doing a radio show, and he adopted the Weird Al moniker. And
if his dorm mates were calling him that kind of infers like there was like a regular Al on the floor too. Like, hey, there's Al.
Like, oh look, it's Al, and here's Weird Al.
There's Weird Al.
Well, Alfred was probably a more common name back then.
Probably.
Like, again, I love Weird Al. He is probably one of my favorite artists because I can remember, when times were tougher, like all of us did when we were younger, getting bullied.
Yeah.
And listening to this stuff, like listening to his albums, they helped me get through some tough times just because it made me laugh. It made me feel good. And it's like, okay, this guy can make light of a really serious song. Maybe what I got going on isn't that bad right now.
Right.
And I love Weird Al. And Weird Al, on the 1 in 100 trillionth chance that you're listening to this, thank you. We love you.
Thank you. And come on the show.
And come on the show. We would love to have you on the show.
We can't
come back to Tulsa.
We need to do a Twitter campaign to try and get him on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Avoid Oklahoma City. Come to Tulsa.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
Stits in Oklahoma City. You don't want to go there.
And I don't and he has such close ties. Well, I don't know about close, but he has ties to Tulsa because that's where he filmed his movie.
Yep. UHF.
So it's like, yep.
I love UHF.
Yep.
Twinkie Winnie sandwich.
And he doesn't even eat anymore because he's vegetarian.
Which is
now
weird.
Yeah, just like Weird Al.
Yeah, that's right.
So, do you have a favorite song, Chris?
There's a couple that I really, really like by him. One of the ones that I loved was Off the Deep End Here, which is my background cover, which was I think it was off this album. It was the Milli Vanilli parody of Blame It on the Rain, Blame It on the Drain. I'm gonna make you listen to that one because it's just so funny. It's he's talking about blame it on the drain, Roto-Rooter 65000, I think he goes.
Yeah. I'll probably be Weird Al in it on my mini road trip this evening. Just letting it play.
Dude, it's worth it. It's high worth it. That's one of my favorites. And then there was another one. You guys go on. I gotta look real quick because there was another one that I really like. Kyle, what?
I know there's several that I just won't even remember liking because we'll remember these because MTV actually used to play them.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like that's how I learned about Weird Al, was not from the radio, but going and staying at my dad's house. He had cable and they had MTV and they played music videos then.
Novel concept.
As I'm showing my age.
I'm hungry.
Wrong sound effect. God dang it.
You're hungry for those music videos.
There it was.
I'm hungry.
Son of a bitch, I picked the wrong button. As I'm showing my age.
Get off my lawn.
Because they actually showed, music videos back then.
That's true.
I think the first one, it may not have been the first one I saw, but the first one I can remember seeing was Fat. And
that's such a great song.
Off the Even Worse album, which is behind me here. And I just remember the fat suit and like thinking that was hilarious, because I was like probably 12 when I saw it. And so I was just getting into Beavis and Butthead and, that kind of humor that like shaped the type of humor that I have now. I think this stuff, Weird Al stuff, that's the times that we grew up in with Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill starting to kick off that really shaped our sense of humor and our comedy or lack of that we do now.
Well, and now it's like it's turned into like riff tracks and Mystery Science Theater 3000, all that. It's like it's like that progression.
Yeah. Adam, what's your favorite?
Favorite album? Favorite how deep do you want to go?
Go both.
Okay. Favorite album is probably Bad Hair Day. Just because it's the one with Amish Paradise.
Yeah, so that's another one.
Yeah, it's like
it's hard for me to choose between. Yeah.
It also has it actually does have my favorite original song of his, The Night Santa Went Crazy. Because Santa's a scary, scary man. Fat, jolly guy that's can come into your house at any time, knows if you've been bad or good. There's something sus there.
That's something I need to dive into is his originals. I don't think
Yeah,
I've really
His
ever
originals are
listened
pretty good.
to any, if many, you know.
yeah, and there's sometimes like in his early career, there was actually like he tried to be kind of semi-serious with his originals, you know, like but they all have like a comedic piece to it. And then he has the ones that are like the pastiche or the in like of songs, which is like, oh, he picks a genre, maybe somebody out of that genre, and makes the song sound like it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but definitely favorite. Favorite song, definitely The Night Santa Went Crazy as far as original.
Original content.
Yeah, as original song.
So, okay. Now I'm looking at this again. I remember why I loved Off the Deep End so much. I also like the saga. What is it? The Saga Begins.
Yes, that's off of Running with Scissors.
I love
And
that one.
That's honestly probably my favorite song of his. Like,
Of his.
American Pie is top 2 songs ever for me. So it's just nice. It is funny to hear that. So
I like that. But then I'm looking at the set list from the songs from Off the Deep End. And I remember why this is one of my favorite albums. It has Trigger Happy, Smells Like Nirvana, which is the parody of Smells Like Teen Spirit. The album cover is the one behind me. If you guys are watching the YouTubes, it's like the little baby chasing after the dollar, except it's Weird Al naked chasing after a donut on a fishing hook.
And the angle, he is totally teabagging you.
You know what? I'm okay with that. It's Weird Al.
Or Chris is the censor.
My favorite original song by him is You Don't Love Me Anymore, and that's the number 3. It was the number 2 song that they released off this album.
Yeah.
Kyle, you've got to listen to that one. He's
that's
talking
one of
about
our first on the list. I'll just go all the way through it on the drive today.
Oh, it's a great one because this one he's talking about how she pulled out his chest hairs with an old pair of pliers and like all the stuff she's doing to him, like setting him on fire, and he thinks that she might not love him anymore.
I remember listening to Smells Like Nirvana, and that's the thing as I go back and like looking at the list of songs, like, oh, I remember hearing that. Like, oh, I remember that. Oh, I heard that before I heard the original.
You know
song,
it,
which happened
yeah.
a few times. Yeah, like I think anybody would probably knows a lot more of these songs than they realize they know, especially anybody over like 35.
Oh, 100%.
30, 35, because you've been hearing them forever in the back, like, and it'll come back to you like, oh yeah, I remember hearing that, and then it'll kick up a memory of, oh, I was here when I heard that, or I was watching this, or hanging out with these friends.
Right. And then what was the other ones on there? I Can't Watch This was just a parody of You Can't Touch This. And then The White Stuff, which was the parody of The Right Stuff from the back, New Kids on the Block. It's talking about the white stuff in the middle of an Oreo. Yeah.
The white
What's
stuff.
in the middle? The white stuff. And then
Spread it on my tea or spread it on my toast.
Yes. All my favorite stuff by him though is all the polka parodies. The super tracks that he does to polka. Like Polka Your Eyes Out. What is it? Bohemian Polka.
Yeah. Like I admit like
Angry White Boy Polka.
I enjoy the polkas, but I can't ever keep their names straight. Like I can sing along and whatever when they come on, but I can't. I mean, they're such like not even such generic. It's just they are kind of a generic thing. But again, the way it blends, the way it fades into each song is pretty
Brilliant.
much
Are you trying to say all polkas sound alike?
That's
what I'm hearing.
Polkist. That's polkist.
You're being a polkist.
I'm
Stop
fine
being a
with that.
polkist.
I will die on that hill.
All right, Adam, why don't you explain to everyone, because I guarantee you there's a lot of people that don't know what we're talking about. What are we talking? Not being a polkist. We all know you're a polkist. But what are his polka songs? What are we talking about?
The polkas, he just takes a medley of different songs, like literally like
The popular ones.
Yeah, like the hits. Sometimes just like you said, like the Bohemian. Like sometimes it's literally just a single artist. Like a lot of their songs he does, and he like it's 20-30 seconds of the lyrics with literally a polka beat that still has some of the original sound to it too. But there's always
To an accordion.
Yeah, like there's always like an accordion, polka, bass line, everything to them. So, and
Like a
they're just
tuba in
fun.
there.
Yeah, like and they're just meant to be fun. Like half the time, I think they're on like in the middle of the album. So if you listen to the album straight through, it's just like an interlude that you can kind of just okay, like be cheerful. Not
Mhm.
I'm gonna kind of go off that line when you say like they were just meant to be fun. Like I think his music like defines guilty pleasure.
Yes.
Honestly, like everybody's listened to it. I've never heard anybody like. There's probably people that. There's obviously going to be people that don't like him. I've never heard anybody say that they just downright dislike everything he's done. Like I've run into somebody that's heard something that they like. They may not be crazy about it, but they, like, yeah, I enjoyed it at least. And it's nothing that you have to. You can just sit back and enjoy it. You don't have to overthink it. Like it's fun for what it is. It's funny for being funny's sake. It's not trying to push some, message. It's just there and it's easy to enjoy.
Well, and I'll also say it's always pretty wholesome in the end too. Like when it is kind of any kind of insult, it's lighthearted. There's not any killing anybody. I mean, granted, there's been jokes about some, but whatever. But it's all wholesome and funny that literally is pretty much family friendly.
You can listen to it with your kids and not really worry too much.
Yeah, and like I said, there's a lot of times it's like really smart lyrics. It's like, oh, all right, cool, and I'll say like going to your point, the only people I've had some people who's like, oh, Weird Al sucks, and like we said earlier, it's like, oh, all he does is rip off other artists and blah blah blah, and they're kind of like hipster. I don't know what the opposite of a hipster or whatever would be. That's like, oh, this is well. I guess, but we don't
didn't like him first.
Yeah, but the people that are like, they're more of like, I didn't like him just to be able to say they didn't like him because they don't want to admit to liking something that's I'll say it's
too
a
cool.
Joke. Yeah,
too cool for school.
Weird Al's a joke, and that's fine. I mean, that's what he's going for.
Yeah,
like he wants humor, he wants fun.
Like jumping on the bandwagon of hate, like you see people that the first one that came to mind would be like Post Malone, or like, oh, I don't even listen to anything he says. And like I didn't either for a long time. And like, oh, he's actually a talented musician when you get into some like
super talented. I hated him at first. I'm with you.
Yeah,
the guy is super talented. He's smart too.
Yeah, like I didn't have a reason not to like him. Everybody's just like, oh, I don't like him. And like, okay, well maybe I don't like him either. Then I started listening, like, oh yeah, he's pretty good.
I think that goes back to our inner nerd too.
Like, Nickelback. Well, Nickelback, no.
I was about to say your favorite band, Nickelback and Creed. Number one bands in the world.
Wide open.
And you take your mom.
Look at this Choaf.
Because one of those two, I can't ever remember which one, but one of them is like literally what has like the most singles, most albums I think sold at this point, or
Nickelback.
Dang, yeah. But yet try to find anybody that says they like Nickelback. But
okay,
yet
I'm gonna admit
concerts are all sold out.
I've been to
I don't mind Nickelback. I really don't. I really don't. Some of like Animals, I love that song. And then the one that they did that was in front for Raw for years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That one, I really love that song. I think they got controlled by their label because I've seen videos of them and I've seen them in concert too, and they're really entertaining. Like he's a hell of a front man. Mm-hmm. But I've seen videos of them in concert playing music that wasn't theirs. Like they did like half of Sad But True by Metallica one time, and it was badass. I was like, ooh, like they could have been very heavy. Like they could have went super heavy if they wanted to, but they didn't. I think the label got a hold of them.
Yeah,
I could see that.
And then it just feels like they didn't have time to do maybe a separate band. Like 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 James Maynard Keenan did with Pucifer and Perfect Circle.
Mhm.
Like, you know, it's like, oh, here's Tool. This is this music.
This
But
is
I want
this
to
music.
do comedy. So I'm going to start Pucifer and have a song called Country Boner. You know, so.
Or Conditions
I
of My
love
Parole.
Maynard.
It's probably my favorite Pucifer song.
Yeah. So.
It's all Maynard, though. It's all going to be weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whatever. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. But, you know, speaking of concerts, if you guys haven't been to a Weird Al concert, I tell everybody, if you even halfway like him, go. It is, it is one of the best concerts I've ever been to. It's nonstop. Like, literally, there is barely a gap between the next song. He changes costumes throughout the whole thing. He has audience participation. Like, it's nonstop. I've had other people that I've bought tickets to go, and then people bailed, so I've taken other people, and almost every one of them is like, no, that was an awesome concert. That was like fun. It's like, yeah. It's like,
So let's go on that. What makes it so much fun? What can you explain why it's so much fun?
like I said, there's no, like, if there's a costume change, which happens a lot, he'll have a song or two, and then he has like the last one I went to anyways, he had a video screen that pops down and it plays skits, or he does like oh god, I can't remember his name. Galifianakis does the
Is that Between
Zach-
Two Ferns?
yeah, Between Two Ferns. He did that stuff too for some interviews, but it's literally he just clips himself into like somebody else's
Oh, that's
real
awesome.
interview.
I think I've
So it's like,
seen clips of him
Yeah.
doing that. Like he's done that for a long time.
he's done it with Eminem a lot, because Eminem kind of, tries to keep up the hate with him. It's like,
Do you know why? I don't. That's why I'm asking. Do you know why? Because
no,
I've heard
like-
I've heard there's a beef with
I
them.
was like-
no. I've heard there's a beef with them.
the only beef is like Eminem. It's like a lot of these other artists. The artists think their song means too much. Like, it's got, so it's like, so I can't let you make fun of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the famous one is Coolio and
Mhm.
Amish Paradise. Like, and again, we said it earlier, like Weird Al, his first few ones, he didn't ask for permission because he wasn't huge and famous.
Mhm.
But now, I mean, probably after that second album, even he asked for permission. He even signs over half the royalties. On all, like, I mean, I guess this is the case everywhere, anyways. But like, if you go read the liner notes of lyrics, their name is always on there with his. It's like he gives them as much, if not more, than he's required to by law. Like, by law,
Really?
he doesn't have to ask any of these people to do any of this stuff. Parodies are considered fair use, and you don't have to do anything.
But
you
he
might have
does
to pay royalties, yeah, because of the Coolio incident, and just the fact that he wants these people to respect his music. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like everybody else.
I
Like,
get that.
Coolio eventually came around, didn't he?
yeah, Coolio, like, Weird Al makes a joke where it's like he doesn't have to wear his bulletproof vest out in public anymore.
Yeah.
But because originally he asked, I don't know what record label, but he asked the record, because that's where he did. He would just ask the record label, because even during Coolio's time, and that's the Bad Hair Day, one of my favorite albums is, but he didn't probably get to talk to the artists themselves directly, but I think he asked the record label. The record label said yes, it's fine, and then he did it, and then Coolio is like, it's crap, you're making fun of this, like this meant, even though even Amish Paradise, I believe, is like not a ripoff, but it's an homage to another song before it, so it's like there's a lineage there already.
Mhm.
So that was like it, and like, but even Weird Al even then made jokes like he still cashes the royalty checks.
Yeah.
Like, and there was no lawsuit. Like,
As well as he
like,
should.
yeah, Coolio kept saying, "I'm gonna sue you," and blah blah, and there's never been a lawsuit brought up.
No, because he probably made bank off of that.
Well,
That-
and a lot of times, going back to a lot of this, because I was gonna say earlier, music. I don't listen to new music just because I don't listen to the radio anymore, all that stuff. But so half the new songs I hear are either in the bar on the jukebox, or a Weird Al cover. Oh, okay, like Chameleonaire or whatever, But even those people, like, I believe it was Chameleonaire, even says like, I loved Weird Al covering my song because it made my album go up to #1 again, and it was like almost a year after his album was released.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
because it renews interest in the song.
Yeah, because everybody's like, oh, well, what's that original? Especially like the Weird Al fans that's not going to listen to the R&B hip hop stations, whatever.
But they're going to want to know what the original was.
Yeah, they're like, oh, that's got a cool beat, so I know that's not Weird Al's beat, or whatever. So it's like, I want to know the real lyrics, because it's happened all the time. Like going back to Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, he originally said he loved Weird Al covering it because it means that their band made it. So it's like, it's one of his things. Like,
isn't that kind of sweet though?
Yeah, like a lot of people embrace it. Like there's another one with Lady Gaga. Originally he was gonna do a cover. Her record label, producers, everybody, agent, everybody said yes. Or no, they said no. And he asked her, and she's like, yeah, do it. No problem. Go for it.
Make it happen.
Yeah. Because it's either the artist is going to try to be overprotective of their intellectual property, or the agents and everything else don't want it. Even though, again, it's proven that when he releases it, usually it helps like the sales of the other album again.
There's a pretty good list of people that refused to, that he asked for permission and refused. Like Prince refused.
Oh God!
Before he died,
Prince
over and over and over again.
Yeah.
He tried so hard.
There's a story on Prince that at one of the music Emmy, not Emmys, whatever, music award shows, maybe
Billboard or Grammys or something. Yeah.
They were somehow sat in the same row, and Prince's agent, everybody sent Weird Al a letter saying, do not make eye contact with Prince, do not do any of this stuff with Prince. All like they were like protecting him. Like,
what that reminds me of? Like the old Saturday Night Live skit that Maya Rudolph did is Beyonce. What I'm talking about? She's like, we don't talk to Prince.
Yeah.
We don't talk to the Prince. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Kyle doesn't. Look at the blank look on his face. God bless it, Kyle.
Kyle's just not hip. But yeah,
he's thinking now. I'll send you the clip later.
So Prince refused. Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin, who is a admitted fan of Al, still did not, refused him to do to create a polka medley of Zeppelin songs.
Right. But he did allow him to re-record Black Dog, like a piece of Black Dog in like the Stuck in a Drive-Through song.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, all it is like the instrumental part. So it's like not anything else. It's but yeah, it just proves, and even going back to Prince, there's there's something that Prince finally did okay, or maybe his estate did.
I think it was after he died, they finally.
Yeah, this might have been, but he still hasn't written a parody song against Prince like he.
Do you think he ever will at this point?
I think he might, like literally, maybe his next album, if he talks to the estate and they are okay with it, he might finally. Because there's more. What's his? I can't even think his name. Phil Collins.
Yeah.
Like won't allow anything either.
Because he's Phil Collins.
Phil Collins, Paul McCartney, Eminem. An interesting one was James Blunt that his label denied, but James Blunt personally approved.
Yeah.
U2 denied a polka medley. Yeah.
Well, and even Eminem refused, but then I either okayed it or something happened because there's a song called Couch Potato that's an Eminem Lose Yourself
Okay.
parody.
So eventually came around.
Yeah, and Paul McCartney's is weird because Paul McCartney's a vegetarian, so he doesn't want to and it's like Weird Al had one called Chicken Pot Pie.
Yeah.
And Phil and Paul McCartney's like, can you make it tofu pot pie? And like Weird Al is a vegetarian. It's like, no. Like, it's Weird Al's a vegetarian, but literally he does it for supposedly he was handed a book that was like, oh, you're one of those like scare you from meat, like how it was, butchered and all that. But I think he realizes that I can still sing about it. I can still
Yeah.
sing about, you know, all this stuff.
So I don't know where I was going with that. I was just thinking about. I was trying to think of a way to formulate that question, but I can't. Okay, go on.
There was
That went
something.
far.
So as we were kind of like, I found some of these cool little fun facts as I was looking for this fact in particular, and we talked about it before we started recording. I'm just going to quote the thing directly. I think it's from Wikipedia or somewhere. So with Word Crimes from the Mandatory Fun album, debuted at number 39 on the Billboard Hot
Which is
100 in
awesome.
2014. He became the third musical artist after Michael Jackson and Madonna to have a song in the top 40 of the Billboard Hot 100 over every decade since the 80s. So his other ones were Eat It, Smells Like Nirvana, and White and Nerdy. So Eat It, 80s, Smell Like Nirvana in the 90s, White and Nerdy, the 2000s, and then he hit the 2010s. So if he hits anything this decade,
Yeah.
they'll have,
So what
he-
was Adam? What was Word Crimes? Because I loved Word Crimes. And let's give a little background on this first. My wife loves Word Crimes because she's a word junkie, a word nerd.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She makes her living off of words. You know, we've said this before, Kyle. You know, words have meaning; they have power.
Yeah.
And that's what Lily's career is all about: words and how you use them and how you group them together. You know this.
Mhm.
So she geeked out about this. Adam, what's Word Crimes a parody of?
Is Robin Thicke, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, that's just it. I know it, and I've watched that. Of course, I've watched that. The unrated video.
Well, who hasn't? Kyle,
but,
you've seen it.
a few times.
Man, and it's Pharrell Williams. I know is in there, so that's probably why it's also still good. I can't even think. What is the name?
Blurred Lines.
Blurred Lines. There we go.
Which
There
was
you
a
go.
rip-off
Oh,
of another
you were trying to
song.
get the original. Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
where you were going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I was
And-
doing.
Well, and speaking of Pharrell Williams is another one of those that loves Weird Al. Like when Weird Al made the song "Tacky," is
I'm tacky.
yeah, it's a play off of "Happy," you know. So it's like like I said, a lot of these music artists you find out actually have a sense of humor. They like it. It's, you know, I don't want to, but it's like these ones that have either a hardcore element, like is in Coolio's Amish Paradise,
Mhm.
Eminem songs. They're the ones that don't want to let go because they're afraid. I think they're afraid that their own entourage will call them soft or something. So they got to keep that street beef, you know. So
They
Which I
just
don't
take the
get.
edge off the song a little bit or something. makes it
yeah,
less-
yeah.
Well, I guess I do get that, but I think it's my love of Weird Al kind of outweighs that.
Yeah, and I loved Word Crimes because like it's fun to like if you just like because he's not. I mean, he is literally giving you a grammar lesson
Mm-hmm.
like throughout the whole thing, and it's accurate, you know.
Mhm.
So
It really is. If you all aren't, just listen. If we're giving you recommendations on it, you don't have to take it, but by all means, there's a reason we're giving recommendations on it, just
Mhm.
because it meant so much to us.
my recommendation is all 14 albums.
So okay,
Well, that's easy enough.
well, sold.
Yeah,
Um,
and his like going to that, I guess. You realize that like his 14 albums have been with all the same recording company. Like they signed him to a 14-year deal, or like,
Which is really unusual nowadays.
well, it was unusual then, like because the only reason he got like they didn't think comedy albums were going to sell that much, so they hit him. I think it was like a 10 album deal.
Yeah.
Like was the first one, and then they extended it, and it's not the same company anymore. Like it was like it's Scotty Brothers was the original, and now they were owned literally Tool. Going back to Tool, one of my other favorite bands, Tool and Weird Al were owned by the same record label for a long time, Volcano Records, because they bought Scotty Brothers, and then now it's all owned by Sony, I believe. So it's
But
Sony
didn't Tool
Records.
break off into their own?
They did, like their next album will, but I think their last album finished their record contract. They tried. If that's
Took them
what
long enough.
yeah, well, because what every 10 years we get a Tool album.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
Shit, I wish it was more often.
Yeah. But yeah, that was like one of those. They at one point they tried to break off too, but uh I guess they changed the CEO of the record label and everything and convinced them just to stay. But them and Weird Al both have finished their record labels. They tried to sign Weird Al to another like 10 album deal after he's done 14.
Holy shit.
And he finally said no, because the last album, Mandatory Fun, debuted at #1 finally. But also like the first five tracks off of that album he released on the internet before the album came out, like literally like 6-8 months before the album came out, because over his time he realizes if he could get a parody out when the current parody is still out there, he does better.
Yeah,
of course it's going to do better, but having to record an album, write an album, everything, it takes it so long. But and he said, and now with YouTube, just the way the internet works now, he's not gonna he's gonna be an independent record artist
well,
now, and probably
he could just do
Spotify stuff. And
he could do Spotify. He could do just a video. He wouldn't even have to do a full album. He's like, okay, this is hot now. I'm gonna do this song. I'm gonna throw it out on YouTube. It'll get 20 million views. I'll make 30 grand off of it and roll on. But let's talk about him and the internet. I didn't put any of this in the notes, but I do remember reading this. And so we were just talking about Weird Al, the internet, YouTube. Go back about 20 years. Weird Al, the internet, and Napster. And him being wrongly attributed to many songs that were not his, that were either vulgar, racist, that did not fit into his.
Yeah.
Just because they were quote unquote funny songs.
Weird. Yeah, there were comedy songs and weird songs. And I remember getting in trouble from NSU a lot of times for downloading torrents and blah blah off of
well, to
Napster.
be fair, that's not the only time you got in trouble with NSU.
Hey, we won't speak of that. That was over, not over 20 years. Anyways, yeah.
Before we learned about VPNs and all that other fun stuff.
Well, VPNs didn't even exist back then.
And it was my first time as coming from a podunk town having fast internet. It was like, I'm
downloading all the internet.
Yeah.
When I moved into the dorms, it was a token ring connection.
No, so did I. Me too.
So yeah, Adam and I had token rings. Kyle probably didn't even know that because they had fucking Ethernet by then.
I would have known more if somebody wouldn't have talked me out of switching my major from MIS to
You should
business.
be thankful. Look how miserable I am.
Yeah, but
you would have been miserable anyways.
I wouldn't know anything.
That's true too.
Yeah, we could be miserable together.
Yeah.
We are miserable together.
That's true.
Look what we do now.
You did find each other again. Yeah. You sunk my life. Way to go. No. No, Chris, like we said, Chris and I go way back. He ruined my life in college, Made me sign up for extracurriculars.
So many lives,
you know what?
actually.
That's where we became close. Adam was always my number 2, and when we did the student activities, so yeah, I did ruin his life.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a token ring. Because I remember I had a pre-built computer that I bought from Best Buy like right before I went to college. Because I'm like, well, I gotta have one, you need to have a computer. Get there, and they're like, you need this card, and I'm like, what? I mean, I was a nerd, but not that big of a nerd. So yeah, so I had to go to the campus bookstore, and it wasn't, and this was before, in 2000, and
pay the marked up price that they charged for it.
And in 2000, it wasn't even in the main bit. I think it was in Lozier. They moved, they were doing the renovation at that time.
Yeah.
So I remember being lost anyways. But yeah, having to go buy this. I think it was only $30. So it wasn't it was outrageous.
Yeah, but you probably could have got it for $10 off campus somewhere.
Oh, probably. But then you had to call the stupid MIS people and tell them to come put this stupid thingy in your wall and then do something in the closet, which I think they were just, taking a smoke break in there half the time. But yeah, so it was a weird, convoluted system. And I think the next year they were like, oh, all the rooms are just going to have it from the start. We're not going to bother with this anymore. Because I think it was $25 for the year. I think that's all you had to do is pay them $25. they would
The
hook
internet
you
was
up.
cheap.
Yeah, it was like
Internet
25
was
bucks for the
super cheap.
year, and it would like carry over. So as long as you paid it once, your whole college career, they're like, yeah, here you go.
And
So I
you still
remember
have
getting a
internet.
refund of I remember getting a refund of $25 once because they're like, we just gave this away to everybody, so here you go. I'm like,
Yeah,
"All
they took my refund out of my parking tickets. So
right."
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, those were fun times.
So speaking of colleges, another cool little fun fact thing that I dug up here. In 2020, Mark Riedel, however you say his name, researcher
Riedel.
researcher at Georgia Tech created an algorithm that generates lyrics to match the rhyme and syllable schemes of pre-existing songs. I almost said skongs. Pre-existing songs.
Those were ska songs.
The algorithm was
There's a
called
skit
the
in this
Weird Al the Weird
AI
Yankovic in reference to Yankovic's similar song parodies.
which is awesome.
It's
Yeah.
the Weird AI.
You had an AI named after you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Doesn't happen that much. Doesn't happen
No.
that often.
I mean, if you're Weird Al, it happens, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we're going to get one.
100% of the time, I guess.
So, let's talk about how he stays relevant.
So
Because he's still relevant. We're talking about him. He's still
we're
releasing
still talking
stuff.
about him. So here's the thing. You have to be a musical genius to reinvent yourself as many times as he had. I saw this interview with him. It might have been like 2020, something like that. But he said, how do you stay relevant? And he said, it was something about his comeback album. And that was the 2014 album.
The mandatory fun. Yeah.
The Mandatory Fun. And he goes, every album is a comeback album for me. I have to constantly reinvent myself to stay relevant. And so I have to constantly reinvent myself as a comeback, because if not, people won't listen.
It's a good attitude to have with it.
That was a great attitude. He didn't have a huge head saying, I've got decades long, I've sold this many albums, I've got a Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
It was literally,
but
I have to reinvent myself.
Yeah, he's not saying people should listen to him just because he's Weird Al.
No.
well, and it goes back to he's very humble. And I'm not saying he should be, but he does, like, you go read his stats and it's like, oh yeah, like, what is it, 12 million albums or whatever since whatever year they put on there.
Mhm.
But if you also go back and look at it, half of those albums weren't hits. They didn't get gold. They might have had a hit on them, but the album themselves weren't anything. It's back in the day of when singles could do better than your album because they could literally still buy the single, not the whole album kind of thing. I've never considered it reinvented himself. I consider it more of like, because he's always creating parodies. I consider it more of he stays in touch.
Yeah.
Like, he's not one of these that's like, oh, well, music, this is the better music. He's like, well, no, the young kids like this stuff, and this is a hit, and here I am. And, like I said, like, just, and I do think some artists maybe give him music early to let them know, or,
Yeah.
whatever. Because going back to The Saga Begins, he wrote that song based on the script. Like,
Which is awesome.
yeah. So that means he got the script early, if not like right as because no way he went and watched the movie and wrote that song and released it as quick as he did.
I mean, I have heard, I don't know, you might be able to confirm that. I've heard he's friends with Lucas.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Like I said, like I do think he got it early, because I want to say there was like in an interview before or something I've read that he wrote it, actually talked, of course, checked with George Lucas, and checked with Don McClane for American Pie.
He goes through all the right routes. He really does.
Yeah. Like we said, he checks every box. And I think George Lucas even says like, that's not in the final cut anymore, like, to some things. So it's like, so it helped him change around, because I don't think anything in that song is wrong. Like, so it's all
accurate.
Yeah. So it's like, all right. But, and again, it goes, like we said, it goes back to he's relevant because he does the things necessary. He doesn't take any shortcuts. He doesn't take anything for granted. And going back to the UHF, that movie bombed. That movie was garbage at the box office. It was only in for a month.
But it is a cult classic.
No, yes, but that's the definition of a cult classic, right? It's got a bomb.
It's gonna bomb
at the
and
box
people love it.
office.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they did it. I want to say it was like a month later. It was
Like
out
Kyle's
of
porno
all
tape.
Yeah.
Hey, that's certified gold.
I believe the name of the porn was Circumcision Gold.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like because like speaking of UHF, in anything he says, it took him 3 years after UHF to write another album, and that's where Smells Like Teen Spirit came from.
Oh,
Like,
I didn't know that.
It was like I think it was like the first album after UHF, or maybe not.
It would have been
89 was the movie.
Off the Deep End was 92.
Yeah.
But
Alapalooza was after that, I think.
yeah, but Alapalooza is a compilation, basically, isn't it? No, it isn't.
No,
really.
Alapalooza has some. Alapalooza has Harvey the Wonder
Jurassic
Hamster
Park,
on it.
Yeah, and Jurassic. I guess when I say like it has a lot of stuff from his, like the Harvey was from his. Anyways, off track there. But yeah, UHF, he went through major depression because of that, because it bombed. Everybody said everybody said his career was over, all this stuff, and then he heard Nirvana's Teen Spirit, and it got his creative juices going, and he cranked that out and got a new album, and bam, like you said, that's definitely a comeback album.
Right.
One of his. So
well, on that, all right. So if you had to pick 5 songs to draw on new fans for Weird Al, what would you pick?
Man, that's such a hard one. I couldn't even tell you at this point, but I would say,
Give me just throw out a couple that you think could draw on some people.
Well, I'm saying, like, I would say, like, if the person says they're into classic rock, be like, Another One Rides the Bus, My Bologna, things like that. If they're into new stuff, Blurred Line, like, you can almost get the 5 songs you need to get Weird Al with them to what their music taste is.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, you would, like, because there's classic, because again, like I was saying earlier, another thing that got me into Weird Al was I listened to the Food album, was one of the first albums that came out in like 93, I want to say, because again, I was religious, but we went to camp. I went to summer camp in our college's backyard, Camp Heart of Hills, because I was actually in the Salvation Army, and so I went, and like literally I probably had
Thank you for your service.
Yep. Thank you for your service.
I had Ray Stevens tapes, and this is all tapes, all cassette tapes. I had Ray Stevens, Beatles.
I was broke, Chris. I'm sorry. You just went right along with it, and then it clicked.
Oh.
Here's the thing. That's the problem with you and me. That's what Lily says. She goes, you two just start going, and then you don't even realize it. Then you realize it, and you guys start snickering.
Realize how you got
Sorry,
there.
Adam. Thank you for your service. Go on, Ed. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. But yeah, so I was listening, like, the Food album is a compilation album, so it's literally all Eat It, Fat, I don't know if My Bologna might have been on there. I don't know. I don't remember what's on there now. But again, since this was at church camp, so of course there was no heavy metal, no, I don't know what was controversial in 93, as it is now. But anyways, so this kid loaned me that album, and I think it was brand new, so we got it before, but apparently he was a Weird Al fan, so he'd already heard all these songs. So he didn't, but I listened to that thing backwards and forwards. Like, I probably almost wore that tape out for him, and I remember giving it back, and then bugging my parents. And like I said, my parents didn't really let me listen to anything, that wasn't 50s, 60s, but they caved, or at least we went and looked, and we probably went to Walmart. The tape was there, and I think what really helped me was Lasagna, the song Lasagna is on that album, which is the parody of La Bamba. You know, and of course we'd listen to La Bamba, Richie Valens, all that. So my parents saw that, and they probably asked it's like, is this good for children? And like, yeah, probably something like, oh, he's a joke or whatever. But it's like, it's like, no, yeah. So we listened to that on the way home. We listened to that song. They never wanted to listen to Weird Al again, but we never got to listen to it in the car. But they never questioned if I wanted to go buy a Weird Al CD from then on, or an album. As they realized, like, oh yeah, no, it's fine.
That one went gold too.
Yeah, well, I mean, like a lot of his albums went gold.
Well, I mean, that just being the compilation. Yeah. I'm looking at the track list off of that, and there's songs that I've heard that I hadn't realized that I'd heard. That, like, when you read the title, like, okay, like when you said Lasagna, okay, that was La Bamba. I remember hearing that. It had Fat Lasagna, Addicted to Spuds, which I don't think I've heard. Now I want to hear that one.
That's
Robert Palmer. Might as well face it. I'm
addicted to Spuds.
I Love Rocky Road. I remember hearing that. Spam.
His video
I remember
for
hearing that.
Joan Jett.
That's another one of those. The video is amazing. It's hilarious because he's dressed up like Joan Jett.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's got Eat It, which is one of my favorites. The white stuff that Chris was talking about. My Bologna.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah, the white stuff.
Stuff you talk about all the time.
Talking about the white stuff, remember?
In the lanterns. Excuse me, sir.
Excuse me?
My Bologna, Taco Grande, and...
Oh, I love Taco Grande.
Yeah.
That, you know what that was a parody of?
Rico Suave.
Yeah.
Rico
Suave. Except this one was Taco Grande.
And one I have never heard, and I want to hear it now, is The Rye or the Kaiser.
Oh, you haven't? Oh,
I haven't heard that. Now I want to.
That's a good one.
Because it even has here on Wikipedia has the description. It's about a washed-up Rocky Balboa who now runs a deli and occasionally beats up on the liverwurst. Like, I want to hear that now.
Yeah, and that's like, and going back to what we were talking about earlier, like there was supposed to be 2 more songs on that originally. One was, I can't remember the other one, but one was Girls Just Want to Have Lunch, and we talked about earlier. Weird Al has come out and said he does not like that song.
Really?
Like, yeah, like I don't know if it's more of like he wrote it quick and he knows it's not that good.
It's just not his favorite.
It's kind of a weak parody. It's like, but like on Dare to Be Stupid, the record label forced him to put it on. Like, he wasn't even going to put it on that album, the Dare to Be Stupid album.
Yeah.
But the record label was like, we need more food parodies because that's what made you big, boy. So I
ride this food train to the end.
Yeah. Even though Dare to Be Stupid is another great album. I mean, it was in the Transformers movies. So
yeah, it was.
It's like, so yeah, it's on a soundtrack, so. But it just goes back to a lot of time, like, especially with Scotty Brothers, they were a small record label, and literally they were just that food album he never even wanted to put out either, because he said he's like, well, all these songs have already been released. I think it was a year after the Deep End album, and he was like, you're literally putting it out like a compilation album after I just put an album out, like, because he has 14, like, going back to it, he has 14 studio albums. I don't remember how many compilation albums he has, because that's not the 14 10. Are not. He has 10 compilation albums.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's 24 albums. I mean, granted, compilation albums are gimmicky or quick, but still, it's like 14 albums, like,
which is still awesome.
Yeah, and I am pretty. I'm not even the biggest fan. I know I'm not, but again, I think it was 2017. They did a pre-order for his accordion squeeze box edition album, which it was all 14 studio albums on vinyl.
Ooh, which is awesome. I would love to have that.
And it's in a box that's shaped like his accordion. And you had to pre-order it because apparently they pre-ordered and they only made like a few more after the pre-orders. Because now it's like, even the CD version is like $500 to find.
Dang.
So I can't even imagine what the vinyl, and it wasn't cheap. Like, it's one of the stupidest, most expensive purchases I ever made. And I haven't even opened it. Like, it's
That's
still
one thing
in
you
its,
like you don't want to open now.
yeah, it's
No.
still in its shipping box. Like, not even like I've even seen what box it comes in. It's in its
Ye-
shipping box.
It may not even be in the box. How do you know
Yeah,
it's
it
in
could
there?
be. I mean, it's heavy. It's heavy.
Yeah, but
so
they may have sent you the
something.
wrong thing. They could have sent you a microwave years ago, and now you wouldn't know that.
Or rocks.
Or rocks.
Or like Guyver's 3080.
Yeah. No, asshole 3080 Ti.
Oh, okay. There's 2 extra rocks in there, but yeah, it's but well, when I bought it, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna do vinyl music, and now I do have a big console from the 60s, 70s, console with an 8-track player in it, but now the record player doesn't work, so I got to get the record player part fixed before I can even do it. But you know, like I said, I bought it. It's like it came with a whole bunch of other goodies and stuff. But yeah, I looked it up just the other day, and it's like I don't even think you can find the vinyl version at all. So, but yeah, it's like I'm gonna buy every album. I remember I skipped school once to go buy one of his albums.
Mhm.
So, I'm gonna buy everything that comes out. I kick myself from back in the day. I didn't go to I think it was 2018. There was a Oklahoma City concert. He came with an orchestra, and I didn't go.
This is awesome.
Yeah, and then he did a for the 25th anniversary of UHF. He came to Tulsa Circle Cinema, which is just an itty bitty, cinema here, and he did a Q&A after it and
cool.
everything. Yeah, I couldn't get off work. Best Buy retail screws me again. Like wouldn't let me off work. So, and I should have just called in and said screw it, But I have vowed now if he comes, especially if he comes to Tulsa, I will go. I will go to every show. If he comes back
in
to
the
Oklahoma
loop, because
City,
I think it'd be fun for us to go with you.
yeah, like, and I mean, again, it goes with like a few of my favorite bands. They Might Be Giants. Like, I've been to 4 of their shows, and when they come to Tulsa, I'll be there. Like, and, I mean, especially with Weird Al. Yeah, especially with Weird Al. He's He's born in 59, so what does that make him?
60.
He's
60
62.
something? Yeah, so it's like he's not a spring chicken anymore. He still moves like one,
But
and
he's not.
But yeah, so
I think like something kind of cool to put a nice pretty bow on all this. If anybody that's still like if you're still listening and you don't like Weird Al or you're not interested, I don't know why you're still listening now, but thank you for continuing on.
yeah.
But just something that would kind of put this all together really well is how successful he was, because you don't realize how successful he was. I'm looking at his certifications on his albums. And so Weird Al Yankovic in 3D went platinum. Dare to Be Stupid went platinum. Even Worse went platinum. These are the albums. Off the Deep End, platinum. Alapalooza, double platinum. Bad Hair Day, double platinum. Running with Scissors, platinum. These
Poodle
all
hat.
Poodle Hat.
That's a lot of platinum albums.
Gold, I think.
Yeah,
and if you talk about gold, I think everyone that's not platinum has at least been gold or close.
The only thing that doesn't have any certification from what I'm seeing just off the studio albums was Polka Party, the soundtrack for UHF.
Yeah.
Poodle Hat, Apocalypse, and Mandatory Fun isn't, which
those are so new. I think they haven't
had time, maybe
that, and like I think I don't know how they register digital sales anymore, so it could be some of that. Because I was looking at that too the other day. I was like, it's like how Mandatory Fun debuted at #1. Like it's his only album to ever debut at #1 Billboard 100. I can't believe that it's not gold. Like like you don't have I don't know how many sell. Like I think what's it gold? It's 100,000 albums.
I thought it's 500,000 for gold. Or I don't know.
Or is it? Anyways, and there could be. I haven't looked too much into it. They could have changed a lot of stuff too, because I think it was 93 to 2003. The Grammys changed the comedy part
requirements
to so it went to only spoken word comedy, not musical album comedy.
Oh, okay.
So
'cause he won like 5
2003
Grammys.
Yeah, from 93 to 2003, he didn't win. He's not even in anything. And everybody's like, oh, he must have done that. Like, no, it's just they changed it so much that his albums were going against all the other mainstream albums. So it's like, and then they changed it again. I think literally 2003, 2004, he won again or was nominated at least. So like, there's a lot of that stuff. Cause like, I know like Spotify, I know they've tried to count Spotify into a lot of like the gold, platinum certifications, things like that. Like how many plays, it's just weird because they've had to adapt with the time. I kind of just don't think they've counted it up correctly. Because Mandatory Fun, it's not my favorite album, honestly, but
still a good one.
Yeah, it's still a good one. I've got it twice. I've got it in CD and then I have it in vinyl because I pre-ordered the vinyl. Like I want to say right before, like, well, no, because it came out in 2004. So I bought it and then pre-ordered the vinyl. So it's like, but yeah, so it's
Adam's super fan.
Yeah, like I said, I'll buy everyone. Like, I mean, I might not buy a compilation album because it might have, but I'll buy every studio album and then I'll go download it on a torrent. Because I don't think
that we condone that.
No.
I have the last two They Might Be Giants albums I bought on vinyl and then just went and downloaded. So it's like, there you go.
There you go.
I bought it.
Yeah, I bought it.
So, well, with that, that's been our Weird Al talk.
It's good talk.
Adam, do you want to play a game? Wait, hold on.
Sure.
Adam, would you like to play a game with us?
Now, not so sure.
Yes. Oh, crap,
Yes.
wrong one. Hold on.
Now I'm in.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
in. You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Would you like to play a game? I'm so terrible at switching my voice over when I'm supposed to.
Okay, we'll put it back over to that.
He's so sad.
So sad.
So, now is the time on the show we call Nerd Drum. Drum roll.
Woo woo.
You're shaking so bad.
Well, because my camera's attached to my
Yes,
desk,
I
so I
know.
made everything vibrate when I did that.
2 nerds enter, 1 nerd leaves.
And then a little bit later, the other nerd leaves, but he's sad because he's lost. Actually, 3 nerds enter.
Yeah, I was gonna say, am I being?
Yeah, you're in on this.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's 3, but
Get off the teleprompter. The teleprompter.
get off the
God dang
telephone.
it.
We took a nip.
I'm giving up.
Update your script, Guyver.
Ah,
I don't have to update.
no, I haven't
shit.
drank anything during
It's
this
still-
episode. That might be
still
my
nerd
problem.
drum.
You need that performance enhancing whiskey.
I know it's sitting. I've been looking at it, but I gotta drive somewhere here soon, so I haven't touched it. I wanted to. But I'm being responsible.
So
I'm an
okay, go
responsible
ahead, Kyle.
adult. Okay, so what we do here, this is kind of a play on that typical nerdy conversation that you have with your friends when you're sitting around the bar or the D&D table or wherever you're at, hanging out with your friends, and the conversation always comes up of like who could kick whose ass, Batman or Superman or blah blah blah. That's been done, and that's been done a lot, and that's been done in depth. We're taking that conversation, and we're just making it a little bit better and a little bit more fun. So what we do is we have a list of characters from pop culture, nerd culture, movies, TV shows, comics, whatever.
Shit, we like.
We have them in this randomizer on a wheel. Each of us will get a random character, so we don't know who we're going to have to defend or whatever first. We take
So
the characters.
you can't pre-prepare for this.
No,
at all.
and there's I say
prepared.
I'm familiar with about 75% of the wheel. There's someone here that I don't know. There's someone here that Chris doesn't know. There's someone here that Adam doesn't know. But instead of your typical battle, like what you normally have, we're doing a random activity in the same fashion. We have a bunch of random activities from like baking a cake or what do we have? There's like a zombie apocalypse survival. All these different
Eating
random
dinner is one of them.
Yeah. All these random ass activities that are on this wheel. So we'll have our characters performing this activity in a random location. Locations came into play a lot more times than I thought it would.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
the location does play a factor. You can use that to your advantage. What we'll do is we'll each get our characters. We'll plead our case on why our person is going to do better at whatever this activity is in this setting. We throw that out to the Discord, which if you guys have not joined, it's in the show notes below. Join the Discord, agree to the rules, become part of the community, and then you can vote. We put this up to a vote after the episode goes out, and you guys get to decide who won and who gets to maintain bragging rights until the next Nerd Realm. So,
Yep. And we need you guys to vote. That's the only way we find out who wins.
vote early, vote often.
Yep. And then
You can only vote once.
Did you ever close off the sushi one?
No, I think that one's still up.
Okay.
I've
So
tried
that's
to
still
cheat
open
many
if you guys want to do that.
Yeah.
So with that, guest choice first. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
So
I
Adam
just
gets...
want to know. I want to know what predator is.
Clickety, 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 clickety. We need a sound effect for that.
Peggy
okay.
Hill.
All right.
So Adam gets Peggy Hill.
Adam gets Peggy Hill. And then Kyle, since he's leaving, gets second spin. I can hear it. They can't. So
Does it make that sound?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Boomhauer.
Dang, oh man, I tell you
Why
what.
is this
Oh,
just going to
God
be a
bless
King of the
it.
Hill?
No,
thing?
because Kyle's good with Boomhauer.
But
I can-
no one will be
think-
able to understand
I
what
don't
he's
care
good
what
with
we're doing.
Boomhauer.
I know what I'm doing. So
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. And shit, so it's a King of the Hill fight so far.
hold on, I gotta wet my whistle for this.
Oh yeah.
Clamps.
And then clamps.
Clamps.
I love clamps.
I do too, but that's gonna be well, you know what? Let's see what
We got
happens next.
Peggy Hill and Boomhauer from King of the Hill. We got clamps from Futurama.
Location?
I've got Boomhauer. Adam has Peggy Hill. Chris has clamps.
At a Shaolin temple.
Oh,
Ooh.
all right.
Not a dojo.
Not a dojo,
No.
a Shaolin temple. Doing
What are they doing? What's our activity? Clickety, clickety, clickety.
Guest
Adam's
Adam's choice.
Oh, we haven't had this yet.
No, we've never had
Oh,
that. Adam,
man.
what do you want them to do? This can be literally anything. You get a choice of whatever activity you can think of.
Does it have to be off the wheel, or can he just come up with
No,
something?
it can be anything. That's the thing about the choice. It doesn't have to be on the wheel.
Man, do I take an easy win and say teach a Spanish lesson?
No, then you would
That's an
lose.
easy loss. Yeah.
What? But Peggy Hill teaches Spanish.
No.
She
Kyle,
substitute
save this. No,
teaches
Kyle,
Spanish.
save this. Okay. What do you want? No, you want every, trust me, Adam, on this, you want every advantage you can get.
Man, I don't know. What. Yeah, Shaolin Temple. How about teaching meditation?
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, I like that. That's the first time we've had something like really line up well with the
Yeah.
location and activity. So meditation.
Man, because Clamps is going to try to clamp everybody.
I know. That's,
Go ahead,
that's what I'm
Clamps.
going to have difficulty with on this one. Okay. So, Adam, do you need a minute? Because if not, Kyle or I are going to jump right into it.
Yeah, I'll take a minute. If
I know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to need another minute to prep up here.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll start off. So picture this. We are at in like the Alps, just some mountainside, peaceful place in China. And it's covered in mist and, just a very mystic, serene location. It's a Shaolin temple. We see, pan camera zooming in. We see I need to start doing this on all of them, setting up the scene. We see the monks,
Watch that
practicing
hand
fighting.
with Weird Al.
What's that?
Watch
Oh,
that
right there.
hand where you're putting with Weird Al.
But if you're going to do that, make sure you maintain eye contact.
Yeah. Hello.
His face is turning red.
We see some, they're in the fields. We see some monks, the Shaolin monks that are practicing with their bow staffs outside, and some are doing, the farming. Some are doing, just basic maintenance on the temple. And then in we go to the main temple. Well, I guess it's a little side temple because this is where they have their Buddha statue. And we see all these monks in there just meditating. In walks our three characters. The first one will be Clamps. Clamps is there to learn meditation because Clamps he's very high strung. He's very high strung. And what he's going to do is he's going to clamp. He's going to clamp you if he gets pissed off. And he doesn't want to clamp anymore. Clamps wants to change his ways since, what was the what was I can't remember his boss's name because I keep wanting to say Fat Tony, but that's Simpsons.
It was Donbot.
Donbot.
Yeah.
Donbot is in prison currently. So Clamps is a little lost and his clamps are rusting. He's getting a little older. So he needs to learn how to meditate. He needs it more than Peggy Hill or Boomhauer because he's got a real problem. He doesn't want to end up in prison. Excuse me. So what Clamps is going to do is he's really going to he's going to fight it at first. He's going to excel at the snipping of the wheat, and the canes, the bamboo. He's going to do great at the fighting part. Excuse me. But when it comes to meditation, he's really going to struggle. And that's where he's going to have to double down on this. So what the monks will do, first they'll take off his clamps because he has to learn inner peace. And so he's going to have to sit there for hours and hours and hours to achieve this because he doesn't want to go to jail. He doesn't want to end up like Don Bob.
Mm-hmm.
He is so angry. And I think this is why he needs the meditation more than anyone else. If he doesn't get this, his end goal ultimatum, he's clamped so many people, he could end up in robot hell. And he's not making a deal to play anything, any sort of instrument, because he can't, because he's got clamps.
No holophoner.
The holophoner, he can't do the holophoner. So Clamps has to have this. So I think this for Clamps is a do or die situation, why he has to have the meditation. And I think this is why he's going to excel at it. He doesn't want to end up in prison. I'm out. Kyle, you're up.
Okay.
You have to start off with them walking in.
You want me to go or you want Adam to?
Adam, do you need
good
another
now,
minute?
Unless he wants to do it.
You can go.
Okay. So, we're at the Shaolin Temple. They've already all walked in.
Yep, they walked in.
So Clamps is doing his thing. Peggy Hill's there. Boomhauer walks in to the temple. Oh, you're going to put me on the big screen now. I got to do this. Okay. Boomhauer walks into the temple. Oh, hold on. I got one other little note here.
Hey, Scam.
Hold on. Okay.
I
made notes while you
time
were
to make
talking.
notes. Yeah, I know you did.
I did, because I want to make sure I hit these. Boomhauer walks into the temple. The Shaolin Temple, like I said, pristine, beautiful mountain sitting. There's fog rolling through. Ancient building with statues and monks, and it's just beautiful. Boomhauer walks in, knowing that he's there for basically it's a meditation competition. Is the way I'm taking this. Who can meditate the best? Who can inspire others to meditate the best? Boomhauer looks around the room, he sees his competition, sees the monks, incredibly inspired. He takes a deep breath. He relaxes and focuses, and he says, "Dang old man, old boot over there statue, man, you gonna look at? You gotta sit there and focus, man. You gonna put one leg up over that other leg, man. Old namaste, man. Go to Nirvana, kind of like that old team spirit, man. You gonna go think and relax, old man. Old woosah, you know what I'm talking about, man. You gonna become one with the earth, man. Think you're some old flying around there, old whooping crane, going loo 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 loo, man. Old Shaolin Tempo, man. That dang old statue up there, man. Kind of look like old Mephisto, man. That's what I'm talking about. Dang. I'm out. That's what I got.
Adam?
Dang
on whooping crane, man.
Dang on Adam.
Dang on Mephisto.
Dang on Mephisto.
Oh, God.
I got it in there.
Oh man, this is rough because that
that hurt.
But
I had to
coming
take a
up
shot of
from
whiskey before I
Choaf.
did that.
Nice. All right, here's the thing. Peggy's the last one in. She's coming in because she's here to teach the class because she is the most chill person ever. She has to deal with Boomhauer. She has to deal with Hank and Bobby. So if she can make it through that, she can make it through everything. So she comes in and just starts teaching, she does the Peggy Hill thing and Miablo Peggy Hilo.
That was the most perfect Peggy Hill impression I think ever. Not for the tone or anything, but it's a
the voice I nailed it.
Miablo.
Me Hablo, Peggy Hill.
Mihablo, Peggy Hill.
Yeah. So yeah, she comes in and she greets the class, tells them she's their substitute Shaolin meditation teacher. And goes and just says like, now everybody sit down, crisscross applesauce. Watch Boomhauer fall down probably.
Boomhauer's stable, man.
Boomhauer, dang old stable.
I've
been trying to set-
fall off no dang old statue leg.
I've been trying to sit down. But yeah, she just tells everybody to take deep breaths, relax, tune everybody out, especially Clamps and his jitteriness. Because
Clamps!
he's probably clanking around, being all metal. Boonhour probably can't, stop mumbling. So
he was very clear in his message.
yeah. So he just tells everybody to takes a key off of Boomhauer and says, Woosaw. And then the om, and finishes it off. And everybody leaves relaxed. Thanks to Peggy Hill.
Thanks to Peggy Hill.
Oh, Peggy Hill.
All right. So we haven't done this in a while because our shows usually.
Oh, hold on. You got to make sure you go to the Discord and vote.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Please make sure you go to the Discord and vote.
Yeah.
On
Someone
whether you
make
think
sure
it's
they
Adam
make
for
a,
Peggy,
voting thing.
Yeah.
Kyle for Boomhauer, or the obvious winner, Christopher Clamps.
Christopher Clamps.
Mm.
It's not like
It's Christopher Cramps.
It's not like a
Christopher
weird
Cramps.
like, Disney holiday special character.
Christopher Cramps.
Is
Christopher
he
Cramps.
watching porn on the VR?
Krampus.
Christopher Cramps. Well, just before the money shot, he goes, "Oh, cramp!
I got the cramps."
I can't finish."
Fall off that giant balcony.
What are you watching or reading this week, Adam?
Oh man. I actually I kept wanting to, but I kept never having time. I have I can't remember the title of it exactly. There's a Weird Al book that I have. God, I can't think of it. And I just found it again the other day. So I've been trying to read it. It's more of his, past and everything else.
Sure.
And then watching this week, before this, I was wanting to watch UHF again. It's been a while. It's been a while since I watched that. I've also been listening to Weird Al just to, on YouTube and watching his videos. But I've been trying to watch in that Squeezebox collection. There's actually 15 albums in it. The 15th one is they call it medium rarities, where it's all his rarer songs. So I've been trying to look them up so I don't have to literally open my setup and try to find a record player. So I've been trying to see those because one of them is Cruising Belvedere, that first song he ever sent to Dr. Demento on a tape. And it's definitely, you can tell it was recorded on a tape deck. So it's hard to listen to, but it's there. You can, 16, 15-year-old kid recording something. So that's been pretty fun.
Kyle?
Cool. So I have, since we've had some requests to do a Nerky episode over the new Suicide Squad, I've been getting caught up on DC movies. And actually, that's the last one I have left. I binged a bunch of movies about a week and a half straight. It's really weird to say I binged those movies. For me, that was binging the movies, watching 1 to 2 a night, because, I kind of made it kind of clear, I like the Marvel movies better.
Yeah.
I wanted to like the DC movies a lot better. I really wanted to, because we all our first introduction to live action. I know mine was, and probably you guys too. Live action superhero movie was Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yeah.
Full length, real, done well movie was, and so I really want the DC movies to be good, and they're hard.
Yeah.
To
There's a lot of slogs in there.
I did watch, and I wanted to watch the Snyder Cut of Justice League because I hadn't watched that yet, and Chris has been busting my balls on that. But I wanted to watch the original cut before I watched that one. I hadn't watched that either, and so I just worked my way through, based on data release until I got to that, and yeah, Snyder Cut was hella better.
Yeah,
and I love that I watched it. I'm pissed off that I watched it because we'll never probably see the whole Nightmare story arc, and that,
which I would have loved to have seen.
That was DC screwed the pooch there, or Warner Brothers screwed the pooch there, because that could have been the saving grace for that series.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
entire series is the whole Nightmare arc and bringing that together, because that looks so cool. You know, I was telling Props the other day, like I've always kind of thought about like whenever I make it to a Comic-Con, like I've never put a lot of thought into if I wanted to do cosplay of anything. I haven't found anything that I thought I would really like want to do. Like everybody's like, oh, you know, be Zach Galifianakis or Dumbledore or some shit, Gandalf, and like no. But then when you see the quote unquote, you know, post-apocalyptic Batman in the Nightmare sequences, when he's in the long brown duster and he's carrying a rifle and all that stuff, like that looks cool. I would want to do that. I would totally do that. But you know, now that arc's pretty much dead, so I'm sad.
But the comic book stuff still exists.
Yeah, I can go there,
Yeah.
but I like seeing it.
No,
So-
yeah, that's
You got anything else, or is that it?
Am I supposed to have something else?
No. It's,
Okay, well, you had to
can
look
pick
like
one or
one.
the other. I didn't know. I was making sure you were done.
It's like no, you gotta have all three.
Yeah,
You gotta have all
No,
three.
what the fuck?
What are you
dude?
reading? What are
Um,
you?
I'm reading the subtitles of the movies I'm watching because I'm fucking deaf.
All right, fair enough.
That counts.
Mhm.
What I'm watching this week, I got caught up on Titans, which is phenomenal this season. We finished Drag Race last week, All Stars, and now I've got 3 episodes to catch up on the new season of Stargirl, which has been pretty good. You can tell that the budget has been halved since they went from the DC network to the CW. But the writing is still there. So that is that's probably one of the most wholesome shows out there, like superhero wise. What I'm reading is I started rereading. Oh, and I watched the Marvel Zombies, you know, for a Nerky that we're
Yeah.
doing tomorrow.
I watched that
Which was
twice.
Amazing.
I still need to catch up on all that. I watched the first episode of What If, but
So
They're easy to watch.
they're super easy.
But Zombies was so good.
I
I'll
dug
let you
out.
guys spoil it first. That's how
There's
I watch
zombies.
things.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
zombies.
there, yeah.
Well, son of a gun.
Which that caused me to dig out my old trade paperback of Marvel Zombies.
Yes.
And there is a lot of changes in there, but it's okay.
It's okay. We'll
and then
talk about
I
that in a couple of days.
It's going to be awesome.
There was some stuff
and-
in that episode too that I think there's implications
Mhm.
in
I agree.
the actual MCU, but neither here nor there. It'll be there later.
You think they're
Um,
gonna do? Sorry if this interrupted. You think they're gonna do a House of M?
I hope they do.
things? All right,
I don't think it'll be in this What If, but I hope they do.
maybe a next season or something.
They keep threatening House of M.
I think
So-
House of M's just going to happen, not in What
Well,
If. I think it's just going to happen.
Yeah, with like the
I wonder if
Scarlet
it's going to be
Witch stuff.
multiverse.
Yeah, with the Scarlet Witch stuff, that's that. I always figured that's how they were going to reintroduce the mutants because they could easily do that
Mhm.
with that. So
But you know, there is rumor that they've already cast a Professor X.
Really.
yeah,
There's a rumor going around right now. So,
it's
Rumor
not
of who
Jean
it
Luc
is?
Picard. I'm out.
huh?
not
I can't
Picard.
remember. It's a black guy this time around.
That would be interesting. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's, you know, it doesn't matter, but it's just
yeah.
when you read for 35 years about Professor X is one way, it's just like, you know, a lot
Well,
of the
and-
fanboys are going to get pissed off.
Yeah, I was about to say the
but whatever.
fanboys, the Proud Boy, all that stuff. They're gonna come out of the woodwork on that, and it's like, man, it's
If it's changed even a little bit.
yeah, it's that's the reason I always liked, and with comic books especially, it's like the mantle is what it is. Like literally, the person picking up the mantle could change. That's why
Mhm.
I've never liked the Spider-Man movies, like going from Tobey Maguire to Garfield. Like I like the Tom Harlan movies, and I like Tobey, but you never had to do another backstory. You could have just you could have switched the person. It wouldn't have
Right.
mattered.
Yeah.
You know, just like when you pick up a comic book and it's not the same artwork.
Mhm.
It's not this. It's like just go on. You know. So
So, then I also busted out my mega trades of Why the Last Man, because the TV show on Hulu starts this Friday.
dang.
And so I am super pumped about this because it's by Brian K. Vaughan. It's a retelling of the Omega Man, basically. Virus wipes out every man on the planet. when I talk about man, every male, that's male dog, male horse, male gorilla, everything except for one guy named Yorick and his pet monkey named Ampersand. The only 2 males left, and how they're trying to get them. I think it's Washington, to find out why that they're alive so that they can start repopulating. And like Amazons start coming back. They cut off their left breast. There's no men around, and it's just interesting. It's a great story. Brian K. Vaughan also did Runaways.
Oh, okay.
And the Hulu show, and that was based off and the comic, which is great. So I'm really pumped about those.
Everybody needs a T-Rex.
Yes,
or
100%,
raptor, whatever.
Raptor.
Yeah.
So
That makes me want to read the. I need to finish all the Walking Dead because I know that's finally.
Good
on
luck with that, dude.
Well, I'm in the book, not the It's like
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
It
Well, I
ended.
mean, the
It
episode,
technically
or
ended.
issue 100 or 105, I think. Before.
Yeah, but it ended a while back.
Yeah, it did.
Too,
Well,
so
you know who did Walking Dead, right? The artist and the author.
Well,
Kirkman.
wrote it.
Kirkman, who also
he
did
also
Invincible,
right.
right?
Yeah.
He's the one who did Marvel Zombies, the first
Yeah.
one.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
That's why it's like, well, going to the Marvel Zombies, especially like everybody die, like anybody could die because like that's Kirkman's whole thing. It's like
anyone can
I don't
die at
care.
any time.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I agree.
He's all about killing off his main characters.
I agree, dude. So with everyone, with that, this has been Every Man's Guide to Nerddom. We appreciate you guys listening. I'm Chris.
I'm Kyle. Thanks, Adam, for sitting in with us. I appreciate it, dude.
Well, thanks
We
for
really
having
do.
me, guys.
We had a
About
good time.
I've
And
been wanting to get here.
and wherever you guys are, have a good night, day, morning, whatever it is, and please be good to each other.
Rise up.
See ya.
We'll see ya.
Night.
It could get elevated. Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made up